rocking and rolling, bro. Okay. Welcome, folks, to a brand new episode of Fitpod, a brand new season, season 3. And in this season, we're not only going to talk about fitness, but we're going to talk about fitness, business, and mindset, and hopefully incorporating everything, bringing it back to fitness and how fitness can improve someone's life, their business life, and their mindset. So, but in today's episode, we've got none other than Simon Fan from Ultimate Fitness in Birmingham. How are you, Simon?
I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for inviting me onto the podcast.
Dude, it's been
a long time coming, isn't it?
It's been about 3 months trying to arrange this. But
busy schedules and all that.
I've just had too many weddings.
Too many weddings.
And holidays to catch up on. But thank you very much for coming. I know you're a busy man. So I want to dive straight into our episode, right? My first question is, what initially sparked your interest in bodybuilding, and how did you get started in this sport?
Well, I first got into training. I had an older brother, Stephen. He was sort of bodybuilding before me. He was about 5-6 years older. I'm from a place called Lichfield, which is not far from here, about 10 miles. And there's a very small bodybuilding gym. We're talking like, this is how long ago it was. It was sort of mid to late 80s. And it was a gym called Samson Delilah's. And back then, bodybuilding was a very niche thing. No internet. We only had magazines and VHS videos. So not really many people did bodybuilding back in the day. And because my brother did it, and being Chinese and he was hench, I thought, you know what, he looks pretty cool. I want to look like that. So I played rugby at school, and I was very sort of skinny. And he said, look, come to the gym with me, start training, and try and put some weight on. So he introduced me to all the lads at the gym. And I absolutely loved it. I just fell in love with it. I got myself a training partner, and because I was sort of quite lean and muscular, I saw results quite fast. Yeah. And after like 2 months, the gym owner at the time said, "Do you want to do a bodybuilding competition?" And I was like, at the time, I didn't know what the hell bodybuilding show was. What's that involved?
Literally throw you in the deep end.
He goes, standing on stage and in a pair of pants and doing some poses. I thought, that sounds gay, but I'll give it a go. So
see how I like it.
So throughout that summer, I think it was 1989.
Wow.
That proves how long ago it was. I sort of dieted for my first competition, and it was in a place called Fleetwood near Blackpool. And I won that class, won my show, teenage. I think I was 16 at the time. And from then I became hooked. Absolutely loved it. Wow.
So when you won your first show, or before you won the show, what did you think of the journey that you have to go through to kind of get? Did you think, what have I just signed myself up to?
Well, I was quite a bit of an introvert. I still am, but I just enjoy the process of bodybuilding. Is a very individual sport, and it's something I had sort of complete control of. And because my brother, before I even got to the gym, he gave me Arnold Schwarzenegger's encyclopedia. He says, before you do any training, I want you to read that, study from obviously Mr. Olympia, who's arguably one of the best bodybuilders. Yeah. So I sort of read that book for about 2-3 weeks. I studied it. So I knew I had a good foundation before I just went into the gym to wing it. So I sort of knew what I was doing. It had like chapters for beginners, which I was a total beginner. And I just took it from there. I sort of started with like a basic program. And I saw progression really fast, because when you're new to training, you're very receptive to the gains, and I responded really fast. I started to change my diet, and every time I was getting stronger every week. I was sort of getting leaner, muscular, and I just addicted to
just getting that buzz every week.
Yeah, and everyone at the school was like, "Bloody hell, bro, what you doing?
And did they ever say, what you taking?
Back then, we didn't know about what PEDs and stuff like that. It wasn't even protein powder, if I can remember back then. So it was like.
So you've seen nearly 3 decades now?
Yeah.
So how do you think that the whole industry has evolved?
It's crazy just looking back over like nearly 35 years, how the sport has it's massive now. It's like everything's fitness now. Everyone wants to look good. Social media has played a big part in that. Back then, when I first started training, we only had like magazines, and they were sort of very few and far between. They'd be up in the newsagent's top shelf next to all the porno mags. So like, so no one really trained back then. It wasn't really as popular. But
it was very like,
and the gyms back then, they were like they weren't like the gyms we have today. I mean, they weren't as well equipped, and they were very basic.
But do you reckon people back then got better gains than today with the amount of equipment?
You know what? I think more, it doesn't mean better. I mean, back then, less distractions. You just go to the gym. We didn't have mobile phones back then.
No.
We just went. We didn't even have. We just had a look like a lot of the viewers won't remember this. This is how old I am. We had a Walkman. It was like a little cassette player, like with headphones on. So I used to get my
into your belt.
Rocky IV soundtrack and train to Rocky IV. But I loved it. It was just, we didn't know any different. We didn't have any sort of distractions from social media, scrolling Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. We just went there to train.
That's crazy, isn't it? Like the way it's evolved, and now it's all about the way you want to. Forget the work into it. You know, people want to jump to that last stage, what they see out there.
They don't want to see how many years, or in my case, how many months it takes. Because it does take, I mean, I had good genetics because I responded quite quick. But a lot of these people, what they see now on social media, it's like obviously years and years of hard work, and they're just posting like the results from years of your hard work.
Yeah, exactly. And people think that you can get that overnight. I mean, you can, but they don't last very long.
No.
So tell me a bit about your biggest challenges you faced in your professional career of bodybuilding and competitions. Well, you said how many you've done? 60.
I've competed from 1989 till 2015, so 27, 28 years, more or less every year. I had a few years off, but I think my worst challenge was like having a serious injury. So in 1999, I sort of tore my pec doing dumbbell flies and just training like an idiot. Too much ephedrine, too much sort of. I had a bit of a layoff, and I came back the first session back. You know, I was eager to train, and I just overdid it and just tore that, and that sort of. Back then, it was sort of. I thought that's it. My career's over. Bodybuilding career's over because I'd won like a major competition when I was 21, and so I was trying to get my pro card, IFBB pro card, which back then was like very hard to get hold of. But having that serious injury had to reevaluate my future.
Do you reckon the sport of bodybuilding, is it worth it? Because somebody asked me a question, and they asked me, how much do you get paid to do a show? Right, because that's what everyone thinks. I said, you don't get paid nothing.
It costs you thousands.
And he was like, huh? I thought you get paid. I said, no, in fact, you have to pay.
Yeah. A lot of bodybuilders, I mean, it's probably different now because you can get endorsements. So you can make money on social media if you're savvy. Back in the day, no one got paid. Even the top pro bodybuilders in the world, getting paid from competition was very little. I mean, Mr. Olympia, who's the number one bodybuilder in the world, back in the 90s, they get paid £50,000.
Wow.
Just looking compared to other sports, it's hardly anything. It's like
nothing.
£1,000 a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
To become the best bodybuilder. But we do it because we love training, we love the sport, and I think a lot of the bodybuilders would do it if there was no money at all. It's probably different now because it's a different generation.
You got more bills, inflation.
But I remember when I won a free tub of protein powder for one of my shows, and I was buzzing. I was like over the moon just because I won a tub of £30 protein powder. I think I hit the jackpot.
That's mad, you know.
But we did it for the passion because we love training.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, everyone who does it, they do it for the passion.
Yeah.
But, people do ask that, how much do you get paid?
No, you don't. I mean,
like, if you're lucky, you'll get sponsored. But
yeah, I mean, nowadays, the bodybuilders, there's more opportunities to make money. Endorsements, YouTube and Instagram, but back in the day there was very little, unless you're the very top, and even so, you'd make money off the back of bodybuilding from doing guest spots, selling merchandise, clothing, seminars, stuff like that. So if you were smart, you'd sort of, leading up to after competition, you set up like a tour, and you start bring your own merchandise. You take your your portraits and sign portraits. You can make money from that. So it is quite lucrative if you're sort of that business minded.
It's quite hands-on, isn't it? You have to kind of. It's not like okay, I'll do a show. I've got £50,000. I've got another show. 6 months later, you get another 50 grand.
But you have to sort of make the money to prepare for your next years, because a lot of these bodybuilders, they're training twice a day, so they haven't got proper jobs. They haven't got a 9-to-5 job. They train twice a day. They're sleeping. They're eating 6 times a day. So they can't.
Expensive.
Yeah. So they have to afford the food, the training, supplementation.
The coach.
Well, back then there was no coaches. The coaches. The coach thing is only, I'd say, in the last 10 years. Well, probably 8 years. It's really took off. But back then there were no coaches.
Nothing.
I never had a coach.
So your first show that you did at 16.
There's no such thing as coaches.
So how did you know what to do?
There was guys in the gym which were a bit more experienced than me who had done competition. So I would, stand and like strip off from them. They would tell me what to do. There was no such thing as coaches.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't have a coach at all in my career. Not one person told me what to do. This is all trial and error, learning from my own mistakes and just trying things out myself. And listening to sort of, to world champions, how they approach things and getting tips from. I did a lot of reading back then, a lot of nutrition books, training books. So I sort of,
See, now then, in that case, it's very, very easy to do a show. You're just following a plan.
It's easier, but I think that takes... What I loved about training, getting into bodybuilding, was learning, experimenting on myself, how things work. And I mean... I understand why people get a coach, because it saves time, but part of the process, part of the fun was learning everything myself.
Yeah, I mean that's the hard bit.
Yeah,
that's why I guess not many people have done it back then.
No, exactly.
See, now anyone can get up and do a show.
Because my gym, we get teenagers coming to my gym. Before they want to sign up, they'll ask for a coach, they'll ask for a pros engaged. They want to know how long is it going to take to become an IFBB pro. I said, look, you're not even started training yet, just calm the fuck down. Do you know what I mean? If I would have said that when I first started, they would have slapped me and kicked me out the door.
Oh my days.
Because they're going from nothing to like becoming...
literally the best. Okay, let's talk about running on the treadmill for 10 minutes.
There'll be coaches out there that will sell you the dream.
Yeah.
So that I can do you this, I can do you that. But, time's the factor, because it takes time to sort of...
You got to go through the shit in it.
Yeah, you can obviously rush things, but, it doesn't make your physique any better, because you can tell when someone's put too much weight on, the quality isn't there, you see.
What do you consider your greatest achievement in bodybuilding, and what did it take to reach that level? So I'm guessing this question is now for those new gym comers, right? So to achieve something that you've seen on social media, what does it take to get to that level? Now in your career, I'm sure you've had best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest title I won was the British Championships, and I was 20 years old at the time, and I decided I didn't want to compete as a junior because it was under 21s. I thought I'm good enough to be in the men's category, so I decided to go into the men's British Championships. This is 1994, and first of all you have to qualify for it, so you have to do like regional show. And little story telling about this is the gym where I trained before, Samson Steroids, the owner was a guy called Dean, and he was someone I really looked up to, because he was about 10 years older, but he'd already competed loads of times, and like he was like my idol. So we trained together for this season, and so that was the first show. It was in Nottingham, the Commodore Theatre, 1994. So we both did the same class, and I ended up beating him. And he got second to me, and I felt really bad for beating him, because he was someone I really looked up to, and so that qualified me for the British finals.
That was the last time you saw Dean, by the way.
Yeah, banned me from the gym after that. So we both qualified for the British finals later on that year. It was November, and I ended up winning my class at the British out of like 20 guys, and Dean never placed, and that's the last time Dean competed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But I was really proud, because I remember working so hard to, get that condition. Don't forget, I was working at my dad's restaurant at the time, so I was like working nights, finishing work about 1 a.m, then doing cardio like 3-mile, 4-mile walk around like this pool in Lichfield. There was no treadmills back then, no sort of 24-hour gym. So I'd 1:30 in the morning. I'd do my cardio.
Proper graft. Proper graft.
Then go home, go to bed. Then wake up 7 o'clock the next morning, do the same. Then I'd train and.
Have you still recovered after that?
That's all I knew though. That's what I thought. This is what it takes to get in contest condition. I didn't have anyone blowing smoke up my ass saying, "Oh, you could." It was just like, I just did it all myself.
That's just crazy, because. So there were no treadmills back then, or just no treadmills at your gym.
There were no 20. There was no Charles Mills gym. No, we weren't that fortunate. We were lucky to have a toilet in my gym, but it was very basic gym. It was a powerlifting gym, so they didn't believe in treadmills. So I just thought, you know what, I don't have to pay for to walk outside, and I prefer doing cardio outside. And it sort of made me sort of more determined. When it's like raining and it's late at night, I thought, not many people are doing this. You're all sleeping at home, and I'm outside doing my cardio.
Putting the graft in, and then let the results speak.
Yeah, and it sort of hardens you, makes you more disciplined.
So what would you say to somebody like, the newcomers now who want to get the IFBB Pro before even setting foot in the gym? And
you've got to be prepared to do what it takes. I mean, it's going through a bodybuilding prep. I think physically and mentally, it'll be one of the hardest things you will ever attempt, because you're doing things against your body's will. You have to train when you're hungry, you're tired. You don't sleep well when you're dieting. Your blood sugar's low. You don't sleep. You're always tired. You're on limited amount of carbohydrates. You have to train, every day, and you feel very, very ratty. You know what I mean? But if you can handle that, then go for it.
It's tough.
It is tough. I mean, I did, like I said, 27 years competing, and it didn't get any easier. It didn't get easy because you look at your last show and you thought, okay, I need to come down more. I need to be leaner. So you push yourself harder. You know what
because
I mean?
the whole point is for it to stay as hard as it is.
Yeah, to progress. Yeah, I didn't want it to be easy, and if I found it was easy, I thought I'm not getting the results I want, because I know what it's like to be suffering at a certain point for my diet where I need to be feeling it to get that. So get
how
results.
old are you now?
Sorry.
How old are you now?
51 I am.
Wow, looking good, bro.
Thank you.
You're looking
51 years young. But I contribute that to my training, my lifestyle, healthy lifestyle.
Definitely.
Training my life, looking after my body.
And recovery.
Yeah, I mean nowadays I'm sort of a bit more smarter with the way I train. Even though I train with younger people who sort of are smashing the weights, I sort of have to back off a little bit. Even though I can probably
you've done it. You've
got
been
nothing
there.
to prove now.
You've got nothing to prove. It's just more for mental health now. That I've done.
Yeah, I still want to look good. I still want to be functional, but I'm not.
But does it make you feel like, I wish I can go back 15 years, 20 years and show you guys how it's done? Does it ever make you think that?
Nah, I never look back, to be honest. I mean, this is just like, I've done that. Now this is like the next 20 years. I've got to sort of, what I'm doing now with my physique, my training is going to future-proof me for the next 10, 20 years. I've seen a lot of people my age now, and, people I went to school with, and they look old, man. They look sort of, they don't take care of themselves. They've got beer bellies and...
It's horrible. It's horrible, to think that this is the only thing that you have. Why don't you look after it?
You can't abuse it, yeah.
But when they say, oh, you only live once, but do you really want to live like that?
Yeah.
Or do you want to live good and healthy and can run a mile not without problem?
Yeah, I want to live as long as I can, not just as long as I can, but as well as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to be still training when I'm 70, 80. I don't see a reason why I can't.
Arnie still does it, doesn't he?
Arnie still trains. He's 77, 78. But why should he stop when you can? And the reason why he looks because he hasn't stopped training.
That brings me to my next question about the well-being of the body and stuff. You went through a pretty rough period through coronavirus, COVID-19, right? And you were hospitalized. So tell me a bit about that experience. When did it happen, and how bad was it that you ended up in hospital?
This happened right at the beginning of 2020. Well, February
when
coronavirus was sort of coming to UK. And obviously I'd sort of seen in the news, you know, this thing coming from China.
People just falling everywhere.
But it just sort of went above my head. I thought, it's never going to happen to me. It's never like, you know, I'm Simon Fan.
I'm invincible.
Nah, but it's just, it's sort of thing, okay, I knew it was there in the background, but... And then I remember I was doing some work at the gym. I was doing some sort of repairs on the roof. And tell a lie, I wasn't doing that. I was cleaning some stuff in the gym. And we had some a mold issue, so I was cleaning the mold off the ceiling, but like an idiot, I wasn't wearing a mask, and I was there for about 4 or 5 hours just scraping this mold off.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say 4 or 5 minutes.
So 4 or 5 hours, and I must have breathed in all the mold, the bacteria and stuff. And for about a week, I was like, just felt terrible. I felt like I was, you know, felt really run down, and I never get ill. Very rarely I get ill. Mm-hmm. I remember just having to like cancel a couple clients at the time, saying, "Look, I just feel terrible." So I went to bed, and I remember just going to bed for about 4 or 5 days and not getting up to eat anything. Just my condition getting worse. Then I started getting a fever. Temperature went up to like nearly 40, and I was struggling to breathe, and I was just getting worse and worse. Then I had a friend called Josh who was working in the A&E, Good Hope, and he texted me saying, "How are you feeling?" Because he knew I was sort of not well. I said, "Look, I feel like I'm going to die. I'm seriously like struggling to breathe." And he goes, "All right, get down A&E and we'll do a scan." So called a taxi on the Thursday morning to Good Hope, and they sort of did a scan on me. This is you're not good. You know, we can't let you go home today. I goes, "Why?" He goes, "Well, you're not going to make it." And I thought, "Can't you just give me some tablets and I'll go?" I said,
"Paracetamol usually is paracetamol for everything."
That's it. The taxi's still outside. He goes, "You better tell the taxi to go home." I said, "So how long am I in there for? Like a couple of hours?" He goes, "No, we're gonna have to put you on a ventilator." And I thought, and at the time it didn't register what a ventilator was. I thought it was just like a breathing mask. I said, "Oh, cool. I'll just sit in the back while you put the ventilator on." And he goes, "No, we're going to have to put you to sleep." I said, "For how long?" "For at least 2-3 weeks." I thought, I said, "What?" And I said, "Why?" Because your body's not able to breathe by itself. We're going to have to put you under for your body to start breathing again by itself. And I just started thinking, fuck, what am I going to do about, well, at the time we were in lockdown. It was just the first week of lockdown. So I thought, okay, gym's closed. Better tell my missus. Like, I said, "Babe, they're going to put me on the ventilator." And she goes, "Why?" And I said, "Look, my breathing's really bad. My SATs level, which is like how much oxygen you sort of absorb, was down to 80, and it should be around 99.
92,
yeah. And it was like below 80, and I was getting more and more sort of, you know, my temperature was getting hotter and hotter, and they said, "You're in a bad way. We're gonna have to you got 2 hours before we're gonna put you under." And I was just thinking, I had 2 hours by myself, and they were trying to take some blood out of me, and I just started panicking, thinking, what the fuck? And I spoke to my doctor friend, and he says, "Look, it's 50-50 if you're going to wake up from this." I said, "Don't tell me that." I said, "Don't tell me that."
Wait, you're supposed to be a friend and a doctor?
And he says, "It's not looking good for you." And
what the hell, bro? You died just by listening to that?
I said, "What can I do?" And he goes, "You've got no options. You're just going to have to, you know, you have to go through it." And so I remember, like, I had my phone and I was on the bed. I had all the nurse and doctor around me. They said, "Look, put your phone away. We're going to put you under now." And that's as soon as they injected the anaesthetic. That's it. It's gone. Horrible experience.
Wow.
And you know, the funny thing is, I remember all the mad dreams throughout the whole. I was in there just for under a month. I remember all the dreams, all the nightmares, everything exactly like it was real. And I could still hear the doctors and nurses talking. So I sort of, they had to resuscitate me 3 times. And so at one point they were sort of trying to resuscitate me. I could hear him, we're losing him. You know, he's going. I could hear him, feel him sort of trying to revive me. Scary.
I don't know what to say, man.
I had to have a bit of counselling after I woke up, because you wake up and you're thinking, where am I? Because they moved me to a different hospital. After 4 days, they moved me to the Queen Elizabeth, and I'm waking up like you're in a different hospital. You don't know. I thought it was Christmas still, and it was a weird sensation, because all the doctors and nurses had masks. I didn't see it. I didn't have any visitors. Don't forget, it was COVID. Our ward was like the COVID ward, so it was like, like the radiation tape. That was all everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, where the fuck am I? What's happened? It was just like a crazy time.
So you woke up after a month?
Just over 3.5 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
And I went in 17 stone, because I was still like quite big. Woke up, lost 5 stone, just under a month. 35 kilos. Yeah. And when I woke up finally, and obviously all the drugs had to sort of wean me off all the medication. I started having like bad hallucinations, paranoia, and I'd lost that much weight on my legs. I couldn't even get out of bed for like 2 weeks. I was sort of bedridden, so I couldn't even go to the toilet, couldn't brush my teeth, couldn't wash. I had to be fed through a tube for like 2 weeks, just to sort of, because my throat had sort of seized up, and there was a point there they were going to give me a tracheotomy. Yeah, it was a bad time.
I wasn't expecting this.
That's yeah. But looking back at it now, it doesn't, even though I remember everything, because I sort of kept a journal, it's like, it doesn't feel like it was me. Do you know what I mean? Because I've sort of, and it's been 3-4 years now, I sort of put it into the back of my head. But yeah, it was a weird time.
That is just listening to that is scary, bro, let alone going through it.
And I remember
because I remember saying, talking at the gym about you, and Scott, Scott who comes up here.
Scott Swench. Yeah.
And we were talking, and at the time we were like, I said, so the guy from UFC, he's UC Ultimate Fitness Gym, yeah. He's got corona as well, hasn't he? He goes, yeah, Simon. I don't know, at the time it was you. I was like, yeah, the chap, and he goes, apparently he's really, really bad, and we don't think he's going to make it. We're like, shit, bloody hell, I hope he does, And so yeah, it was just, we did have that conversation about you at the gym.
Yeah, I had a lot of people say the same things, but at the time I was diagnosed with a severe chest infection, severe pneumonia, I had COVID, and really high temperatures.
Do you reckon it was COVID, or was it the mold?
I think it was mainly the mold, but I think having the COVID was like what tipped it over. Yeah. It was because my wife had COVID. We both had COVID at the same time, and she was fine. She felt a bit run down. She lost the sense. Yeah. But she wasn't bedridden like I was. It knocked me for 6, and for me not to go to work, not to train, I was literally bedridden. I mean, it took a lot for me not to,
That's mad. And I was going to say, when you started telling me, I was going to say, I think it was the mold that you kind of you inhaled.
It was,
and then the virus probably just kind of topped it up.
Yeah.
And that's why you just went, because mold is really, really bad.
Yeah,
really bad.
Yeah. Looking back on it, I mean, I was stupid for but it was like.
It
was like a little patch. I thought, it's going to take me 5 minutes. Then I got carried away, and I thought, I might as well just carry on doing the rest of the roof now. But before I know it, the whole of the ceiling was on the floor, and I thought, I've got to clear this up before the gym opens the next morning. It was a Sunday, and I was like,
that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So how did it affect business once you were back up and running? Because we were locked down for nearly 2 years, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, we had stages where the first lockdown was 4 months, I think, where we were
something.
Yeah, 4 months. So it was hard for me, my gym, because we didn't get any grants, we didn't get any help.
Because he'd struggled as well. Everyone struggled.
Yeah, because they were only given grants to like businesses with a rateable value of 51,000 and below. My business rate was 51,500. So just because I was £500 over the rateable value threshold, I didn't get any grants.
That's bullshit, man.
So I didn't get any sort of help with the rents, the rates and stuff like that. And it was sort of on. I remember I think we had 3 or 4 lockdowns in total, didn't we? And it's just like the uncertainty, like of is this going to be like this forever? I mean, are we gonna have to wear masks? Are we gonna? But I remember when I did get a hospital and the gym was closed, I thought I'm just gonna go start training in my gym. What can they do to me?
Yeah, it's your gym.
So I remember having to sort of sneak in my own gym, not turn on the lights.
I was gonna ask you that. Did you ever sneak in?
Yeah, every day. every day.
Did you get any of your friends sneaking in with you?
Of course I did. It's funny actually because there's one stage, there's probably about 10 of us training here, and we had a knock on the door of the police. Next minute I said, all right, grab a cloth, grab some cleaning fluids. So the police came and I said, look, we're cleaning the gym, yeah. And it's funny, they knew what we were doing, but I said, look, private, we were just cleaning the gym and making sure it's ready for when we reopen. It happened about 3 times.
You're all sweating. Yeah. Must be a good cleaning session, boys, because I can still see some dust.
I said to the guy, says, don't park in front of the gym because like the police drive past. Just park around the corner. And just have to let you in for the side entrance. But looking back at it, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
Having to sneak around your own gym. You know what I mean?
It's not nice, is it? No. My house got burgled in Corona, in COVID, and no one came out from the police. Oh, we can't come out. We'll just do your statement over the phone and I was just like proper pissed off and that. And then 2 days later, there's about 3 riot vans at his gym.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Knocking everywhere, and we were like, bro, my house got burgled.
Yeah.
My shit got stolen.
Right, yeah.
But here, there's no one in the gym to shut us down. What are you guys doing? It's just like, it just was a very, very, very strange time.
I remember when my wife picked me up from Queen Elizabeth and we were driving home and the roads were dead. It was like quiet. It was a nice day. It was sort of May.
It was a nice time in that sense. There's no traffic.
The weather was really nice. I remember that summer. We had a really nice summer because for the first few weeks when I got home, I had to learn how to walk again. So I used to do like a little lap around my local park. I just remember how peaceful it was. But yeah, it was strange times.
When they said that, okay, this is what's going to happen now, we're opening gyms again, did you ever think before that you might have to close up?
I thought, I knew it wasn't going to be the end of it. I thought it's going to happen again and again. Yeah. And so just be prepared. Don't sort of, get too excited. So I had to sort of, and everyone was eager to train, get back to the gym. As soon as we opened, all our members came back because, it's all right having these home workouts, but nothing beats training in a proper gym.
Oh.
And the gym's a social thing as well. People go there to make friends, they go to chat. And I think it did a lot of, a lot of people struggled in that lockdown.
A lot of people struggled, Luckily, I got a few bits and pieces from the gym at home. And then he calls me one day. He goes, do you want to train at the gym? I was like, yeah, of course I do. He goes, all right, I've got some keys made.
Okay, £100 a session.
He goes, I've got some keys made. Come on, I'll give you a key. And just come at 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, bro, that is lifesaver, awesome. Yeah. So there's about 6-7 of us. We all had individual keys. Right, just go in our time slot, do our hour, boom, back, quiet, everything. It was nice. It was boring, but, it was better than nothing.
But you know what? I mean, me going through COVID and like the lockdown, it just gives you a nice sense of appreciation for what, we take for granted normally. Yeah. Normally we can go to the gym anytime we want, train when we want, go to the shops. Yeah. I remember having to queue up to go to the supermarket outside. I'm thinking, what's going on?
And the funny thing is, you're queuing up 2 meters.
Yeah.
Is it 2 meters?
2 meters, yeah.
And inside, everyone's all over the place.
Didn't make sense, did it? It didn't make sense.
It was just a crazy time, But moving on to your gym and your business. Future plans for the gym. What are your short-term and long-term goals for the gym? Because I know it's an award-winning gym.
Yeah. So I've had Ultimate Fitness 11 years now. I mean, it's my 4th gym. I've had gyms for the last 30 odd years. Short-term goals, my sort of 3-year plan is to sort of keep improving the facilities, keep improving the membership base. We're going 24 hours later on this year, so that's another sort of stepping stone to improve the gym. I'm always sort of, we opened our own podcast last year, studio. Just trying to sort of make the gym better. Like, there is a lot more competition now, a lot of good gyms, but we try and do what we can to keep our customers happy, keep our members coming back, and whether it's buying new equipment, improving the facilities, with social, improving our social media. We're always trying to do, improve.
You always
post stuff. I would like to probably be out of the gym industry in the next 5 years.
Really?
Just sell up.
What are you planning to do?
I don't know. Probably just sell up and retire. move abroad.
but make sure the person that buys your business has the same level of passion. As you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's one thing I wouldn't want to see someone to take over the gym. Because
it's just like Temple.
Yeah.
A lovely brand.
He's a friend of mine. We could talk about Temple Gym.
A friend of mine, anyways. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've spoke to him about it. I said, what have you done? You had a brand, Temple Gym.
Do you know the story about Temple Gym and myself?
No, I don't. No.
So, I ran Temple Gym, the original Temple Gym.
Oh shit! Wicked.
From 2007 to 2012.
Okay.
For Dorian, and I actually brought Temple Gym because at the time, Dorian had retired from bodybuilding, and he set up his own company, supplement company, and he said, Simon, because I'm going to shut down Temple Gym. This was 2006, and he goes, do you want to take over it? And I says, I'd love to. He goes, oh, I'm losing money. Just take it off my hands. Whatever you make, it's yours.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm closing it down because it's
too much.
I'm not there to oversee things. I'm losing money, so I thought opportunity, because I knew I could make it work. Because Dorian had lost interest. He'd let like every Tom, Dick, and Harry like run the gym for him. There's no real face of the gym.
Passion, yeah.
So I thought, okay, it was May 2007. I'm taking over the gyms. I went in there, sacked all the staff because they're all nicking from the gym. Everyone was like letting their friends train. There was no money being exchanged. Sacked all the staff, and sort of brought my own team in. I said, like, this is how it goes. No one trains for free anymore. It's a business, and I've got to run it like a business. If you want this gym to carry on, you all pay your gym membership, you all pay your bills, you all pay for bottles of water, etc. Because, I'm not going to let this gym, the legacy go, because, I'm putting my name to it now, my time. And within 2 years, I turned it around, thriving, brought new equipment, did the change rooms, put new counter in, and it buzzing. Gym was buzzing. Then again, I got probably 20 guys competing. I was competing, still representing the gym. I really turned it around. It was like a thriving business, and I was there for just under 6 years. And the original Temple Gym was in a basement on Temple Street.
Yeah.
So there was no windows. It was sort of in a basement. Yeah. No fresh air. And after 5 years being in the basement, I got sort of a bit claustrophobic. And it was always going to be known as Dorian Yates Temple Gym, even though I took over.
Yeah.
It's Dorian's gym. And Dorian, I don't think Dorian liked the fact that I made it a success. So towards the end, he sort of started taking a lot of the credit himself, which I thought, you know what, I put 5 years of my life into this gym. I've turned it around. Otherwise, if it weren't for me, the gym would have gone. And I think it sort of resented me for making it a success, which he didn't do. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do my own thing, because I got the feeling that he wanted me out. Yeah. So I started looking for another location within the city centre, somewhere not too far away, but somewhere a bigger facility, somewhere a more modern, parking, and I could put my own stamp on the place, having a bit of characteristics from Temple, like some of the equipment, the atmosphere, some of the people there. I knew I could make a really good gym in Birmingham City Centre. And that's where I formed the original Ultimate Fitness on Upper Gough Street.
So that's the original place now?
No, where I am now is the second one, because I set up, because me and Dorian, for all of you that don't know, we it was Christmas Eve 2012, and I was ready to train, and Dorian he'd found out that I wanted to move out, so we had a fight in the gym. So he kicked me out Temple Gym. We did talk for about 9 years, but he kicked me out, and that sort of gave me the kick up my ass to do my own thing. And I thought, you know what, you're gonna pay for this.
And today you did.
Yeah.
You know, it's wow.
I thought, you know what, after what you've done to me, I'm going to make Ultimate Fitness the best gym in Birmingham. Everyone's going to come to my gym. You're not going to have a business left, because I will make this gym 100 times better than Temple Gym will ever be. And you don't have the passion I've got to make this gym work. And I believe within the first 2-3 years of opening Ultimate Fitness, I had everyone at my gym. I had Ronnie Coleman. I had all the big names train at my gym, all the big influencers around the world. They all came to my gym, and that sort of set it off for the next 10 years. And people still continue to come to my gym. Last year we had 50 Cent train at my gym.
Did you?
We had Kendrick Lamar. We had Larry Wheels, Ulysses, you name it, Jay Cutler, Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, Flex Wheeler, Flex Lewis. Everyone's trained at my gym.
Should have known you before. I could have got all of them here.
Yeah.
Do a podcast with me. That's phenomenal. You know, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
That's a serious achievement from where you've come from. You know, you put time in for someone else's success as well as yours, but then when somebody kind of bites you back in the arse,
it was sort of, it was like a FU. You know, this is, I'm doing it, but at the same time, it sort of put the gym on the map. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, a friend of mine took over. I don't know how long he had it for. And now, he closed it 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. So, see, that's what happens when there's no passion. This game, I really believe, to make it a success, you have to have the passion for it.
The passion's got to be there first. If you're doing it for the money, I mean...
You're not going to become a millionaire in a gym.
I mean, there's some times where, I'll do like 50, 60 hours and I look back what I pay myself and I think I could fucking get a job and get, work at Tesco and get more money. Yeah, you do because you love doing it.
That's not the point.
Yeah. It's the network it's given me. It's the freedom.
Yep.
It's the friends I've made, the relationships I've formed with other people, and it's given me like a nice sort of lifestyle.
It's awesome. That's something that money can't buy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And fair play to you, bro. Fair play to you. Are there any new fitness trends or technologies you're excited to introduce to your new members or to your current members? Like, all these new machines that you have, big screens, and they do all sorts of stuff. Yeah, have you ever thought of going into that?
It's funny because when I was at FIBO, which is the biggest fitness convention in the world, I was there 2 months ago in Cologne, and there's a hall where they got all the latest machines, and it does a lot that it counts the reps for you. There's like a computer in each machine. But I look at it and I thought, I had a little play with it. It doesn't feel the same as I've got some really old school machines at my gym, and I've got some a lot of the latest stuff, but I don't know. I think these things will be a fad, to be honest. It wouldn't suit with my gym. It wouldn't suit the look of my gym.
Screens everywhere.
Yeah.
I think they're more for hotels, top end hotels, and
even though my gym is a body, I'd say it is a bodybuilding gym, but we don't get many bodybuilders competing as per se. It's only a small handful, but we get a wide variety of people. But I've hand selected everything myself, all the equipment, so I know, if something doesn't feel good, I'll get rid of it, and I purposely go and source equipment. I'll go to America, I'll go to Dubai, and if I've tried something, I know people will like it, I'll buy it, I'll import it. So
have you ever been to the Oxygen gym?
Yes, in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
I'm going back in September.
Oh, I'll come with you.
Yeah, so I do like gym tours all around the world for my YouTube channel.
Dude,
little plug. So I've been to like all the big gyms in Dubai, Binos Gym, Train SF. I've been to like all the gyms in America, Gold's Gym, Destination, Metroflex. I've been sort of flying around the world.
I need a guy like you to hang about with, bro, because that's something that I wanted to do with Fitpod, is just tour around the world and talking to people in different gyms, and and having a look around these different gyms. Oxygen gym was one of them.
Yeah, I mean the Oxygen gyms, they're just, how can I say that? I mean, it's just like no expense spared, and
it's just mental.
Yeah, you go in and it's like there'll be like 100 chest presses, like 50 leg presses. It's excess. Do you know what I mean?
It's just because it's Dubai or
Yeah,
QA or
yeah.
whatever. It's just massive.
But like,
do you need all of that?
No,
though?
you don't need that. And when I went there, I just spent an hour just playing around with different types of equipment. I mean, you could train there for a whole year and not use the same piece of equipment. There's that much variety. But I don't think that's a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
No, because if you want to train and see progression, you want to be using the same equipment every week. You don't want to be changing around every week because you're never going to get better or stronger on a specific piece.
On anything.
No,
In fact, you're
you're just playing around.
Yeah.
So when I go to these gyms, I always try pieces I haven't got myself or never tried before.
Yeah, see, for you it's different.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when I go on a holiday or something and I try a gym, I won't do a normal chest press.
No.
I'll do something else just for the sake of
variety,
it.
Isn't it?
Yeah, just to kind of change it up a little bit. But if I was there and you've got this facility that's got 100 chest presses, you'd be confused.
Yeah, you're confused, and you're just playing like to see how it feels and like the angles and stuff.
I'd love to go there though.
Yeah, there's a gym called Binos Gym in Dubai, which is a lot of the influence. I mean, I've been there a few times.
I went there last year.
Yeah, and that's grown tremendously, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
huge, man.
But yeah, because I did a YouTube video of the 2001. And a lot of people, because they've got the big screens in there, and they keep playing my YouTube video. So my friends keep tagging me every time I'm on the big screen. Yeah.
You know, I went there last year because we've got some pepes out in Dubai, and paid for the week. I went there one day.
It's expensive, isn't it?
It's
£60 for a day pass.
Yeah.
200 dirhams, yeah.
Yeah, and it was what, 90, 100.
You know what? I did that. I paid for the week, and because I was quite far from the hotel, I thought, you know what? I went once and I paid about £100 for one session. Yeah.
And I was just like, what have I done? Because when you get there, you think, all right, I'll come every day for the week. But because I went there alone, and I had my brother and his son, they wanted to do other stuff, and you think, you know what? Yeah, you just kind of go with the flow.
It's an amazing gym. I mean, if you've been there, you know, he's got all the restaurants, he's got like the physio, the barbers. Yeah. You know, he's got every bit of equipment you could think of, and it's got all the big influences there. And it is like, you know, it's nice to visit. You know,
I think it's better to go on a holiday and go to gyms when you've got a set of lads who are on the same
sort of thing. Yeah,
yeah, and then you can go and enjoy. Because you'll go to the gym every morning. Yeah,
that's what I did a couple of years ago. I took my my training partner, a couple of lads with me. We went to Las Vegas and we went to Texas. So we did like 4 gyms in Las Vegas, and we did a couple of gyms in Texas. It was just a gym tour holiday, you know.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's my kind of...
They're the best holidays. So no women, no girls, just lads training.
Yeah. So next time when you have something like this planned, you got my number. Just phone me. Don't worry about the permission at home. I'll get that sorted. That's my headache. No, it's, you know, like the community that your members, their feedback. How does that shape the future of your gym?
You know what? It's nice to hear good things about the gym. You know, it sort of gives you like a bit of a buzz. You know, and you know today, you know the Google. I've got a 5-star rating, but I always listen to like the negatives where I can improve on, because I think they're the best people to listen to. Why people have left the gym, you know, why certain members have left, where you can improve the services. So it's nice to hear, you know, how people say how good your gym is. I like to see people, why did you leave? Was the customer service not good? Was it not clean enough? Did we not have certain bits of equipment? So that's the only way I can sort of grow the gym, by listening to why people have left. Yeah,
I suppose, because positive is good, like you said, is good. It's always great, but you can't improve on positive because then you just don't know.
And you know, every now and then I'll do like a little survey. I mean, and I'll say, look, how can we improve the gym? You know, do we increase the opening hours? You know, the stuff like the music. You know, it could be anything. It could be little things. You know, do we need more sort of cleaning? You know, apparatus out there. So it's just nice to sort of. I mean. No, I don't think
it better the dirtier the gym, the better the gains?
No, there's no excuse for a dirty gym.
Because I went to Morocco a couple of months ago and I found a gym there, and honest to God, it was the most rundown gym ever I've seen. He had every machine in that little place. You can barely walk around the machines. He had everything in there. And the floor was like wooden floor, and it was broken in some places. He had holes and
Don't
stuff.
get me, I do enjoy training in like hardcore gyms like that.
Absolutely loved it. Loved every single bit of it, and I was just like, I wish I had.
There's a famous gym called Metroflex where Ronnie Coleman trained. It's in Arlington, Texas. That's where we went 2 years ago, and that's like probably touted as the most hardcore gym in the world. I mean, I ran Temple Gym for 5 years, so that was probably the most famous gym in the UK for the time. But Metroflex was like the American version of it. 2 Mr. Olympias training, and but that made Temple Gym look like a palace compared to like.
Oh my, serious?
There was dust like on the dumbbells like that. And we went in August in Texas, so you imagine the temperature in the gym. No air conditioning. It's about 45 degrees in there. And
training in a sauna.
Yeah, it was. But there was no one in the gym. It was just me and my friends. But you just want to train because the atmosphere, like the history. You see all Ronnie Coleman's pictures on the wall and stuff. It was just, you get such a buzz from just being there. Yeah, the energy.
That's just phenomenal. I mean, I personally prefer them kind of gyms.
Yeah, a lot of the newer gyms nowadays, they look pretty, but they're very sterile. They haven't got no character.
Yeah.
They've all got the same colour equipment. Everything matches. Everything looks nice, and they just haven't got that sort of
that character.
Yeah.
Those he had those machines with not the cables,
but
the chains.
Yeah.
He had loads of those, and I was just like, and when you're rowing and you can hear the chains.
And you know what? Their machines, they're probably 50 years plus old. So we had them at the original Temple Gym, and there's
a pullover machine. Yeah,
so that's what I got from. I imported it's called a Nautilus pullover, so I've got that in my gym. But that's like 60 years old, and it still works just as good now. Yeah. They're indestructible. A lot of the newer brands now, I'm not going to say the names, but they've been over-engineered. Aesthetically, they look great, but they're not going to last 20, 30 years.
Not as long.
Because they're very plasticky.
Yeah.
And they've got too many moving parts, too many cables, too many joints. And, they look great. A newcomer would look at that gym, look at that piece of equipment, think, okay, that looks great, and it feels nice and smooth, but you try that for 10 years, it'll fall apart.
I want to talk about your mindset and overcoming challenges. Now, what is your mindset when facing difficult times? Obviously, you've been through some serious times, both in your personal life and your professional career. How did you kind of maintain that positive mindset? Because, what you've told me, what you went through, COVID, and how you dealt with it. Not many people came back out alive, and we know that.
I think the bodybuilding from an early age has taught me a lot of discipline and given me a lot of determination. I've always tried and remain positive because, if you're not positive, then you go the other way. And I'd rather be in a positive state of mind and look forward. If I ever get faced with a challenge, I always write it down. Okay, what can I do? What's the solution? Rather than thinking of excuses, I'll try and look for a solution, no matter what it is. And I'll just try to look for the next step. Rather than, if faced with a big challenge, rather than looking like right at the end, I'll say, okay, what's the next step I can do to make this easier or to overcome this challenge? But I've always been a positive person anyway. I've been through a lot of crap in my life, you just got to keep going. Try not to look back, just got to keep moving forward.
What advice would you give to someone struggling to stay motivated during tough times?
Take a look around, be grateful for what you do have, use what you can have, what you do have, look around your friends for help, try and do something productive every day too. If you have got a problem, don't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself. You can do something about it, no matter how small. You can make steps forward to sort of improve. Do
you reckon a lot of this community today have just become too soft?
Absolutely, yeah.
What do we need to do to man them up again?
You need to take away all their sort of Instagrams, and you take someone's phone off from nowadays, they'd struggle, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You take away, you block. I know people when they haven't got Wi-Fi on holiday and they start panicking. You know, they haven't got access to their Instagram. They start sweating and think, is that a real problem, or is it like because you're sort of accustomed to it? Do you know what I mean? That's not a real problem.
Yeah.
You know, they're too soft, and you know, just people are soft nowadays.
I know you want to go more into it. You can if you want
Yeah.
to. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just more talk nowadays than actual action that people do. And it is what it is, isn't it?
I think social media makes things look easy because a lot of the influencers, they post the highlights of the life, how they make the money, how they get, you know, the bodies. And people see that. They don't see, obviously, I mean, a lot of it's fake anyways, and a lot of it's sort of, you know, staged anyway. So not everyone's got that perfect lifestyle.
No.
And not everyone portrays or shows off the hard times when, you know, when the shit hits the fan and, you know, when
At
they're
that
depressed.
time, their socials are off.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, I've just been off socials for the last 3-4 days. I says, why, what happened? Because, mate, you post every day.
Every day, yeah.
So what happened? Something must have happened. Oh, no, it's okay. I says, all right, cool. I hope everything's all right anyway, you know. But who has been your biggest influence or mentors in both bodybuilding and business?
In bodybuilding, when I first started training was Dorian Yates. As funny as it sounds, because he was sort of, we had sort of same characteristics. He was a bit of an introvert like myself, both from the same sort of area. And I just loved his approach to training and the way he just isolated himself. And it was just totally different from the American bodybuilders. The way he trained, the way he conducted himself, the way he just sort of trained incognito, no sort of updates. He'd turn up every year at Mr. Olympia, you know, win, then go back home the next day and train for the next year. Then it was the total opposite to the American, you know, West Coast bodybuilders who'd be like, they're on the beach, like with the girls and stuff. So he was the total opposite. And I sort of like that because I could see some similarities myself. But so he was the sort of, not so much the physique, but the sort of mindset I admired going into my training. You know, the way he approached training, you know, no nonsense, you know, no talking, just work. That was it, you know. And I think he had that sort of influence on a lot of bodybuilders back in the 90s. And that's why I believe bodybuilding back then the standard was a lot better because of Dorian's influence.
Plus less distraction as well.
Less distraction, yeah. I remember, like, I mean, I've competed, like I said, 20 plus years, and I've only got footage from the last time I competed. And like 2015, yeah. I've not got any videos or photos, hardly any photos from before, because we didn't bring a phone into the camera into the gym. It was like unheard of. We didn't, like, you know, and back then we had a camcorder was like that. So that was impractical bringing that around.
Yes. You need somebody to put it on the shoulder.
Yeah. Nowadays, you know, it's so easy to get your phone out.
Yeah.
Technology's moved so fast. But we just didn't think about it. We didn't film workout because it wasn't, you know, we're there to train. I'm not like doing modelling shoots.
Because I started training after my 30s, and now I'm touching 40. And I used to hate the gym before. I absolutely hate it. I used to think that, why do people waste time? Just what for? You know, I wasn't.
Why do people train, you mean? Or,
yeah, like, why do people train? Why do you go to the gym? It's just a waste of time kind of thing. I had that mindset. I went to the gym a couple of times, didn't enjoy it at all. And I was just like, nah, forget this. Can't be asked. It's a waste of time. And
but why did you go to the gym initially? Did you want to change your physique?
Yeah, I was quite fat.
Yeah.
You know, I put on a lot of I put on a lot of weight and stuff, and it came to a point. I wasn't married back then, and it came to a point where I had to unbutton my jeans to sit down, and it just became a bit of a problem. And I was like, and then at the time I was into music and stuff, and we had a video shoot that we had to do up in Switzerland. And I was like, nah, man, I can't do this. It's not right, man. You know, I'm not married. Imagine if once I'm married, it's going to get worse. You know, you can't play with your kids. You can't do this. You can't. So I met a friend of mine, and he used to come to one of our old shops. And I was looking that same day, I was looking through some PTs. So I updated my Facebook, said, looking for a PT to kind of X, Y, and Z. And then literally I posted and he's walked through the door and he goes to me, he's ordered, he goes, what's up? You look a bit, not you. So I said, yeah, man, I feel weird, man. I've got this problem. I want to get rid of some weight. I've got to shoot. He goes, yeah, come train with me at 9 o'clock in the morning at my unit. I've got a little thing. I do Sean T's warm up.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah. And then we'll do some weights and I'll give you a little diet plan to follow. And yeah, you got 2-3 weeks. We'll shift something. I says, are you sure? He goes, yeah, come on. Because I do anyway. So it'll kind of help me as well. I says, all right, cool. Monday comes, knocking on his office door. He's like, what are you doing here? I says, well, I've come here because you told me to. He goes, because not many people turn up. They all say they want to do it, but no one's ever turned up. I says, well, I'm here. Let's get cracking with it. So first day, second day. So he's took my picture first day. And I says, look, I don't want to take no pictures, man. Look at me. Look at the state of me.
But it's good too, though. I don't know what to take place when that's the worst, but it's the best time.
But you need to, because then every 2 weeks we'll take pictures and then look back at yourself. I says, all right. So then he started taking pictures and we started training every day. And the guy was a machine, like going through that Sean T's workout. And I was like, bro, I can't do this. Because you can, man. You can, come on. And then we did weights. And over time, after about 2 months, when we put those pictures together,
you could see.
I was gobsmacked. I was like, shit. No, I feel good. And bless him. I always give him credit. At that time, he was there for me. Every time I pick up the phone, ring him. Oh, can I eat this? Can I not? What is this? He went through everything with me, man. And I always give him 100% credit for starting me off. And and then after that, I just fell in love with it, and just.
Once you start seeing them results, you want to keep going.
Keep going. 8 o'clock in the morning, waking up. I started feeling good. After a couple of weeks, I started feeling good. I started feeling lighter.
Started changing your eating habits.
Yeah, it started changing your eating habits because once he gave me that plan, I went cold turkey on that plan. That's it. It is what it is. Done. Nothing else matters now.
So you're like 100% or nothing.
Yeah, 100% or nothing. And I stuck to that plan for about 6 months. No carbs, no sugar, no carbs. Okay. Protein. That's it.
Yeah.
But it got me to a place where I wanted to, and I was absolutely buzzing. Now at this point, I'm going gym twice a day. I'm loving it. I'm seeing results. But now I've hit. There's nothing else is happening. Now that's when he introduced me to Wahid. Again, I seen him in the shop. I phoned him. I said, what are you doing in the shop? He goes, oh, he's bought the gym across the road. So come, I'll introduce you to him. So he introduced me to him. And that's when I started learning, the structured way of training, your diet, the importance of this, that, the other. You don't need to do 50 different movements and all of that. Now my movements, literally 5-6 movements all together, job done. 40 minutes, I'm in and out.
I think, there's the basics there, but the basics is quite boring.
Yeah.
People want to do like the fancy stuff, don't they? The cables, the funny movements. But it's the basic movements which sort of the ones that build the physique.
Yeah, it's just the basics now. I've gone all the way back to basics, nice and slow down my reps. I've got my Whoop that I track my workout and my strain. It really does help with, when you visually kind of see. It's not obviously it's not 100%.
Data, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's just data where I can kind of compare.
I've got the Aura Ring, which I track my sleep and my activity.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
It's just nice to see.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it tells me that, I've had no recovery, but I feel great and I've had a wicked session.
And you can see patterns in the week, like the days that you have off, the days that you train twice a day.
Yeah.
You can sort of...
what do you think of that Aura?
I love it. I've had it just over 2 years now. It's mainly to track my sleep, which I try and keep it around the 85%. I try and get at least 7 hours good quality sleep every night. And,
same. But now I use it more to track my workouts as well.
Okay.
The muscular strain and all of that stuff. But before we finish off, I want to ask a couple of questions about the controversial fitness industry. Right, some questions that people have about when they see somebody in good shape and say, oh, bro, you're taking steroids, you're taking this, you're taking that. Now, what's your view on steroids?
Obviously, I've taken steroids.
Really?
I didn't start taking steroids until I was 20 years old. So I trained 4.5 years before we didn't even know about steroids back then.
Yeah.
But I competed naturally for my first 4 years, and I sort of hit the top at every competition I did, and I sort of maxed out in that category in that tour federation. I thought, you know what, I want to be like, I want to compete with the big boys. So I knew I had to take that step. But in our sport, I think I'm a bit desensitized to it because we talk about it quite openly in the gym. We get people all the time talking about gear, and it's just like talking about supplements to me. I know it's illegal, but I'd say probably 90% of the fitness influencers take some sort of performance enhancing drug. I mean, you can sort of tell when someone takes just by the look of the physique. Yeah, but I think most people take it. Yeah.
Do you think that because back then, like you says, nobody used to talk about it.
Yeah,
and it was a very.
It wasn't as available back then as well. But nowadays, you can get steroids from the internet.
It wasn't, but just make it legal, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, back then it was a lot harder to get hold of, and no one talked about it, and the information back then wasn't as sort of around. We didn't need to have blood tests. Now you can have a blood test, go to anywhere, get a blood test, just check your levels. But back then we didn't have that sort of as,
It was tough.
Yeah,
back then,
yeah.
You didn't have treadmills, bro, let alone
exactly, yeah.
blood tests.
But and a lot of people, I understand people when they write contracts, they can't say that they take certain things, but. We're
so
not
what do you say to people like those who obviously we know you could tell who's taking it and who's not, but they deny it?
I think you're sort of leading people on. I mean, you're giving people false sort of hopes they can look like you without taking certain things. And just be honest, and you still have to train just as hard. You still have to diet,
if not harder.
Yeah, it's not a magical. It's probably going to give you, I'd say, between 20 to 20% extra sort of, speeds up your process, 20% extra. It'll save you probably, a lot, it'll give you results a lot faster.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I've done a cycle, done it a few times, and yeah, it's phenomenal, but you have to work twice as hard.
You're not just going to wake up, you'll get fast, you'll get stronger, you'll recover faster, a lot faster, but you still have to just train,
How do you handle situations where clients have unrealistic expectations or are influenced by harmful fitness trends?
I'm quite brutally honest with my clients. I'll just say, look, just focus on yourself. Don't believe in all the bullshit. Talk to someone like me who's been there, done it, wore the t-shirt, and, just stick to the basics. I mean, if you want to take stuff, I would always advise someone to have a good foundation of training before they start taking gear, and make sure your diet's correct, on point. Make sure you train hard enough, recovering. You're not out on the piss every weekend doing whatever. Steroids is only going to make things worse. Yeah. So if your training's good, you're eating, your adequate nutrition, resting, then steroids will obviously enhance that. But if you're not training hard enough, you're not eating good, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Yeah. In fact, it's going to be more damaging.
Put more stress on your body, yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is when they are on stuff and they don't follow the right protocols. And then when something happens, the whole industry just gets garnished with the same kind of problem that, it's because of the steroids. It's not the steroids, it's your protocols you didn't follow properly. It's like just overdosing on paracetamol.
I mean, I've taken steroids 30 years now, on and off for 30 years, and I've always been very sensible. One thing which I don't really like nowadays is, when people cruise, is when they do a small amount of testosterone between a cycle. So you got cruise and blast. So blast would be taking something from 5,000 to 500 to 2,000 milligram of testosterone a week or gear. And a cruise should be a TRT dose, which is about 100 to 150 milligram testosterone a week, which is about half a shot a week. But nowadays you got kids 21, I've heard of 21, 22-year-olds cruising on 500 milligram of testosterone a week with pre-metabolic growth hormone. So you're not really cruising, you're on a cycle.
Oh.
I had a kid talk to me the other day, my gym, he'd been on for 2 years, and you could tell his blood pressure was like through the roof, spotty. And I says, when's the last time you came off? He goes, I've not been off for 2 years. And I thought, you need to come off. He goes, well, I'll shrink. I said, you'll probably die before you shrink, mate. I said, give yourself time off. I mean, I've had 9 months off, 10 months, just to give my body a good clear out. You know.
See, they're just not sensible now, are they?
And you know, it is an addiction as well, because you're addicted to looking a certain way, feeling a certain way, feeling strong in the gym, recovering. And it's shit like when you're feeling so strong and powerful in the gym, you feel like Superman, then you have to taper off and, you know, go to normal.
It's horrible.
It's horrible. You have to go 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
But you can't blast 12 months of the year.
Especially at 21, 22.
Because I've had a lot of friends sort of my age sort of pass away, competitive bodybuilders who've just kept pushing it. And, you know, you've got to tell them to take the foot off the brakes, you know what I mean? Foot off the gas and, you know, clear out. Because,
you know, there's more to life than just bodybuilding.
The realisation I've come to is, you know, just don't give a fuck what people think. If I lose weight, I lose weight. You know, I can put it back on. You know, I'll go through stages where I'll purposely drop the weight. You know, I'll come off, clear it out. I'll start fasting just to give my body, you know, that sort of good break from it. And when I do jump back on the cycle, within 2 weeks, I'm like that.
Shoot back up. Yeah. That I think that's the mindset. When people kind of master that mindset, then it's
But you've got to be mentally strong enough to lose the weight and have people come up to you and say, oh, you're not training, you're not squatting 500 pounds like you was 3-4 weeks ago. But,
I haven't eaten chicken and rice, mate, for a while.
Watch me in a month's time and I'll be back there. But you just got to go through that. And but I've done it that many years. I know when to rein it back in and when to push it.
Well, Simon, you know, we can have this conversation.
We'll have to do part 2.
Part 2, 100% part 2 at your place. But thank you very much for your time, your story, your experience to share with us. And I hope, you know, somebody listening to this episode gets something positive from this episode and makes that positive change in their life. And, you know, if Simon can come back from COVID, trust me, there's nothing out there that's going to stop you from reaching your goals. So just crack on it. Simon, once again, thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. And hope you've enjoyed, hope you took away something from today's podcast.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hope it motivates you for your training, business, or life in general. And if you're ever in Birmingham, come hook me up. Come and see me at Ultimate Fitness.
Definitely.
Or come for a workout.
And where can they find you?
My Instagram is Sai_fan, and the Ultimate Fitness is Ultimate_Fitness.
You have to think about that.
BRM, yeah. Ultimate Fitness.
Well, it'll come up on the screen anyway. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Simon.
Yep.
And God bless you with everything that you do. And it's a wrap.